In today's world of market volatility and uncertainty, your retirement plans need to be front and center. With ever-changing tax laws, healthcare worries, and an unpredictable stock market, don't overlook the vulnerability in your retirement planning. Protecting your family and estate will be difficult with shifting policies in Washington. It's more important than ever to keep an eye on retirement.
Hi, and welcome into Eye on Retirement, the weekly show that keeps you in the know about all things retirement. I'm your host and financial advisor, Rick Everett, along with the full complement of panelists to include founding partner with Market Advisory Group, Larry Kloefkorn. Our lead CPA with Market Tax Services, Joshua Cicora. Senior Medicare Advisor with Market Medicare Advisors, Mark Benefiel. And from Eidelman Law Firm, our estate planning attorney, Gerald Eidelman. Welcome in, everyone. Larry, you bring to the table in this episode a meeting that recently happened with new clients around the tables of Market Advisory Group.
Yes, that's right. So I'm meeting with some new clients, and the theme that you're going to hear throughout this this segment in this case is that I feel it's very strongly that people have the information necessary to make informed decisions. Why should you have to make a decision that is uncertain? Have all the information there. And that's what the team is for. And so it comes down to, I believe, informed decisions lead to confidence. Okay? So recently I was in this meeting with some clients, and their money had already transferred in. And this meeting was all about the placement, the allocations, the recommendations that I'm recommending that they go ahead and move forward with. We'd talked about these type of things, but now I was going to show them exactly how they worked. And those meetings are usually very focused on specifics, and so I was prepared to go through each part of it. But when they arrived, as oftentimes happens, there was something that had occurred since the last meeting in their lives, and they were very concerned, and I could see they were visibly shaken is the way I would put it. They needed accurate information as we kind of got into what it was that they were concerned about. And this first point that they brought up had to do with Medicare. And I knew that in that case, that was out of my wheelhouse, but we have specialists, several Medicare advisors that can come and step in a case like that. So I sent a message to Mark, and voila, within 2 to 5 minutes, he was actually in the room. And so Mark, maybe you could tell us about that.
This was a very interesting case. Bill in Atlanta came to us, and Bill's right around 60 years old, and the thing that had come up that was so concerning to him is he had just received his entitlement benefits to be on disability. He was disabled from a work accident, and so he was receiving some disability income, but he had gotten some information that he wasn't going to be eligible for any health care for Medicare for 24 months. And that was disconcerting because in his mind, it was really going to change his plan, because he went out and found out how much it was going to cost to get a plan, because you have to wait for 24 months, and he starts looking at these premiums that could be thousands of dollars, and he was really concerned about that. So most people believe that when you go on disability that you have to have a 24-month waiting period, and that's not necessarily the case. There are definitely some exceptions to that. The main exceptions are if you have end-stage renal disease, or if you have ALS or some other debilitating disease like that. There's some exceptions there, but in his particular case, that didn't play for him, which is good news. But what we were able to find out was that on August 21st of 2022, about 15 months after he stopped working due to his disability, he was able to apply for disability, August 1st. About 13 months later, on September 1st, he found out that he was approved for disability benefits with an onset date of May 21st, 2021. So you would think, well, okay, from 2021, 2 years, well, wait a moment. They do allow for up to a 12-month retroactive benefit. So when he actually applied for disability back in August of 2021, he found out that he was approved for it. We're able to use that year of retroactiveness. Now we have almost that full 24 months. So when he walked out of our office, he found out that October 1, 2023, he'd be eligible for Medicare.
Great.
And so he was extremely happy, really took care of his needs, and then obviously allowed those funds that he thought was going to go flow through that would have changed your plan. It definitely made a difference in them accepting what it was you were going to be talking about, et cetera. And it gave them a lot of peace of mind. So I was really, really happy to help them in that particular case.
Mark, the whole disability thing throws a whole new wrinkle into trying to find that credible coverage. But do you find often people come to us and there is a stopgap they're trying to fill between the time they've actually, quit working, if they've quit working prior to age 65 and being eligible for Medicare at 65? Are you able to help them find some of those stopgaps also?
Absolutely. We do have the ability to look out into the world, in the marketplace, if you will, the ACA marketplace. Sometimes makes sense that they're eligible for one of those plans. Sometimes we're able to look at spouses plans or, there's a whole host of things. And so we always encourage people to come in, sit down with us specifically, let us look at their situation and find the best possible opportunity for them in this circumstances. And so we do write a number of those ACA plans as well, and helping people fill that gap. Sometimes it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years before they're eligible for Medicare.
Larry, you're a financial advisor. Why did you find it necessary or prudent in this case to stop where you were at with this set of clients?
Yes, because I could see that they were visibly shaken, and to not address it right then was going to hang over the entire meeting and be a distraction, because that was truly on their mind. I mean, that's what they needed to have an answer for before listening to anything else would really sink in. So, and the other great part about this is now they have a direct line with Mark where they can go straight to him and get answers and follow-ups to that meeting that they had.
Now, there was something else that came up in this meeting, was there not?
Yeah, there's a number of things. And the next part had to do with the fact that there was the disability component that came from their injury. And so they were on workman's comp. He was on workman's comp for this period of time. And they had recently had a friend tell them, makes you wonder, are they really friends? But had a friend tell them that, you know what, you're going to have this huge tax bomb because you've been on workman's comp for a full year. And again, this is a specialized area. I'm not supposed to give tax advice as a financial advisor. So I found that a perfect time to, again, ask for one of our experts to come into the meeting. So this is the second expert now that I've called on to come to them, okay, to come to them. Joshua?
Yeah, so we sat down and started visiting. She had been, like you said, receiving workman's comp, and she was very concerned about the tax implications around that. And so we talked about how the workers' comp is not going to withhold taxes. So in their situation, because we had been working together, I could speak directly into their situation, what other sources of income they had, what else they had going on. And then started talking about what was going to happen if they got to the end of the year and they owed a lot in taxes and how that could cause there to be penalties, so that we could then set up a plan to talk about estimated payments and dealing with the taxes today, so that in the future, being February, March, and April of next year, they're not going to have to deal with not just the taxes, but also maybe penalties on top of that. And that gave them some peace of mind, knowing that they had a plan to move forward, not just, through the end of the week, but also into like 6 months from now when they were doing the taxes and having to deal with whatever consequences that were going to fall out from this year.
Yeah, so here was a situation that not only is the informed decision leading to confidence, but actually having a plan is leading to confidence. And then the other issue that came up had to do with more of a legal matter. And so, again, we have a specialist to handle things that fall into the legal realm. And again, he was able to be there in just a matter of a few minutes. And I emphasize again that he came to the conference room. They didn't have to drive across town to talk to somebody else, all right? So, Gerald, tell us about that encounter.
They were very concerned in particular that having this benefit, disability benefit, would affect their assets. And they already had an attorney who was handling disability, and they had an attorney who was handling the workman's comp. So I was limited on my ability to communicate to them since they were represented already. But one of the things that I try to explain is the fact that a lot of people get confused between the two disability programs, essentially, that are available for individuals through SSA, Social Security Administration. And what he was going to be on was SSDI, which is Social Security Disability Insurance. The other disability benefit is SSI, and SSI is Supplementary Security Income. The difference is, first of all, on benefits. The maximum you can get in SSI is $914 a month right now. With SSDI, it depends on your work history and what you earned in the past. So there's limitations, but they're just based similar to what Social Security is based on. And the two programs, one of them, SSI, is needs-based. You have to have a medical need, disability, and yet you also have to have financial need. So you can't own more than $2,000 in assets. With SSDI, that's what they were worried about, because he had land, and they were talking, well, maybe we had to transfer the land to the other spouse. But since it was SSDI does not have an asset limitation. So they could continue to receive benefits without having to lose or having to spend down any of their assets.
One couple and a unique situation that took a whole team to put together an effective plan and provide the information necessary to have that plan in place. Do you have a whole team looking out for you in your retirement? If you'd like to set up a complimentary, no-obligation consultation with this team, operators are standing by right now to take your call at 316-252-8707. Again, the number to call, 316-252-8707. And be sure and check out our website at ionretirement.com. We'll be back with the second segment of this show right after this.
Out on the water, there is a moment. Perfect synchronization. The team working together in harmony to reach their goal. Now, imagine finding a team of financial professionals to help run your course down the river of retirement. Market Advisory Group is that team. Financial advisors, tax professionals, estate planning attorneys, and Medicare advisors, all in the same boat. If you don't have a team like this in one place, it can become a hassle to relay information between them. When you come to Market Advisory Group, we bring everyone together for you to get you answers in real time, to help make sure you don't miss something that puts your unique plan off course. You shouldn't be the one doing all the work to keep your retirement on pace. You should have a team in the boat with you. Your voice telling them where you're at, where you'd like to end up, and how you want to get there. And at that point, everyone falls into sync. all pulling in the same direction, toward the same purpose. Your retirement's financial security. We are Market Advisory Group, proud sponsor of Shocker Rowing.
Hi, and welcome back into Eye on Retirement. In the prior segment, we shared with you about a new couple that came to the conference tables of Market Advisory Group, and now Larry Kloefkorn, our founding partner with Market Advisory Group, shares with us a story about an existing client that you helped out.
Yes, this is a client that we've worked with for many years, and this was a situation where we were aware all along of his mother's situation. And in fact, we helped manage her assets, at least most of them. And she had passed away. And so he was the only surviving beneficiary. And this particular client was inheriting money with different tax statuses. Okay, that's not a bad thing, but it is something that is important to address properly with each piece of the pie, okay? And so in particular, one of the careful landmines that we needed to properly address had to do with some tax-deferred annuities that he was inheriting. He was a highly compensated, or he is a highly compensated employee of a large firm here in Kansas, and it is something to where he needs to really watch what kind of additions are thrown on top of his income, that high compensation, and if there's a way to do a proper tax approach, it would help. And I was aware of something that's called a non-qualified stretch, but I wasn't qualified really to tell him about it, and so that's where I enlisted Joshua's help.
Yeah, so Larry brought me in and we started talking with him, and he was getting this chunk of money that if we didn't do anything special, it was going to go right into his taxable income. Now, people who've watched us for a while will know that a lot of times we talk about how tax deferral isn't a good strategy going into retirement, because we anticipate taxes going up in the future. However, in his unique situation, that was actually something we did desire. We wanted him to have that tax deferral because, like you said, he was highly compensated. And so he was in a higher tax bracket than he was anticipating in the future as he moves into retirement and his income starts coming down. So by pursuing this strategy, we were able to get that tax deferral, take a little bit of income now, but then save the bulk of the income into those retirement years when we're anticipating things to start sliding down in his situation. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't, and that's why we always do, like you talked about, custom-made plans for folks to make sure that what we're recommending meets their own unique situation.
Yeah, and in this situation as well, using a non-qualified stretch, you can't get that just anywhere. There are very few sources that offer that. Well, fortunately, since we're independent and we work with so many different companies, that I was able to find two options actually that were very appealing to him. And after explaining the difference, he liked option A the best. And we were able to go ahead and implement this plan so that he could defer these taxes till he was in a lower tax bracket. It was 100% liquid, so he could do that at any time, even if he wanted to split it over a couple of tax years.
Larry, all of the services that are offered by Market Advisory Group are vital, but few topics are as hot button topics as tax issues.
Yeah, that is very true. And people come in oftentimes when we meet with them in a first meeting, they've been to one of our workshops, and the subject had to do with taxes in retirement, and they're kind of all worked up. They learned a whole lot in that workshop that they didn't know before. And you know, that's why it's important to have specialized fields.
A whole team, once again, coming together for the benefit of a sole client or a pair of clients around our conference table. It takes a team to put together an effective plan for retirement. If you're missing a piece of the puzzle, whether it's the investment side, the tax side, Medicare planning, or estate planning, what piece of that puzzle could you be missing that could end up costing you or your heirs money down the road? If you'd like to set up a complimentary, no-obligation consultation with this team, operators are standing by right now to take your call at 316-252-8707. Again, the number 316-252-8707. We'll be back with the final segment of Eye on Retirement right after this.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have by running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no-obligation, full-blown financial review today.
Hi, and welcome into the final segment of Eye on Retirement. Larry, a lot of people viewing the show out there probably have a financial advisor and perhaps have a great relationship with that advisor, but just having an advisor, you have a take on that, don't you?
Yes. You know, so many advisors, they focus on what their part is, what they're specialized in, and that's assets under management. But so many people these days want to have some kind of plan that they can see ahead of time of how to take income. You know, which income sources do they tap first? How much do they need? Do they need $1 million? Do they need $2 million? And I often say, well, that depends on what your expenses are going to be. And so in this case, I like to think of it as assets under management and income under advisement. Is your current financial advisor giving you that piece of the puzzle, income under advisement? And so one of the things that we do when I look at that is there are several components that matter. How much is saved, how much you need for monthly income, what the growth of your accounts are, just to not just the average rate of return, but also how much of this is taxable and what kind of plan do we need for that?
Yeah, different pots of money create different tax situations and different options. We make an income plan to make those assets last as long as possible.
And then another thing that it comes into play is they're going to have Medicare. If they're not 65 yet, they'll reach 65. Mark, what do they need to know?
And there's so many different choices between considerations from premium cost to maximum out-of-pocket expenses to deductibles. And without the right information, you could definitely spend down money that you don't need to be.
And then finally, it's important that they have their wishes in order. Estate planning, Gerald.
Yeah, I mean, what's really important sometimes is people miss the boat. I think the estate planning is simply death planning. But it's very important to have powers of attorney for finance and health. That will relate to what's happening to you now, and it's very valuable to be able to have that in-house and be able to give them that service. And the same thing with a living will, where they get to express their wishes if they're terminally ill or have no chance of recovery.
So all of these areas, they work into the income under advisement. Are you getting that piece of the puzzle? You know what? We don't charge extra for that. That's just part of the plan here at Market Advisory Group.
A whole team coming together, looking out for your best interest in retirement and retirement planning, as well as income planning, tax planning, estate planning, and Medicare advising. And while we're on that topic, a quick reminder that open enrollment for Medicare going on right around the corner, so Market Medicare Advisors can help you out there. If you'd like to set up a complimentary, no obligation consultation with our team, operators are standing by to take your call right now at 316-252-8707. Again, the number to call, 316-252-8707. And be sure and check out our website at ionretirement.com. There you can check out past episodes, or if you'd like to schedule an appointment on the calendar, you could do so there. That's all the time we have for this week. I'm Rick Everett, reminding you, along with the entire team, that we're here to keep an eye on retirement.
All client names have been changed to protect their identities. Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns are not indicative of future results. Each individual investor situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Foundations only transacts business in the states where it is registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by security regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. No legal or tax advice is provided. Always consult with a tax professional. Legal services are offered by Eidelman Law Firm. Tax services offered by Market Tax Services. Market Advisory Group does not provide legal or tax advice. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not in any way refer to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. The guest commentators featured in this show are not investment advisor representatives of Foundations and do not provide advisory services. Market Advisory Group does have several investment advisor representatives that can provide such services. This is not endorsed or affiliated with any U.S. government agency, the Social Security Administration, or associated with any federal Medicare program. We do not offer every plan available in your area. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all of your options. A Roth conversion may not be suitable for your situation. The primary goal in converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. The information provided is to help you determine whether or not a Roth IRA conversion may be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Please review your retirement savings, tax, and legacy planning strategies with your legal/tax advisor to be sure a Roth IRA conversion fits into your planning strategies. All rights reserved.